finding time for gardening.
Welcome to the Wellbeing Garden, where you'll learn, grow and thrive with expert horticulturalist Kath Manuel.
Hello and welcome to the Wellbeing Garden. I'm Kath Manuel. Thank you so much for joining me in the garden again today. Now, in our recent podcast episode, I discussed how you can grow different lots of foods and vegetables and flowers in small spaces. And I touched on the topic of having limited time for gardening. Now, something that I hear regularly from business owners or busy families or people who work full time, they do say a lot to me that they don't have the time for gardening. And a few years ago, I was inspired to actually write a blog article on this topic. And I was reading some research when I completed my horticultural therapy studies. And I was reading this great research on the health benefits of gardening from just 30 minutes, just a few times a week, and how that could improve health and well-being just from spending 30 minutes out in the garden. And I really wanted to share then a list of many of the gardening activities and fun things that could be done in just 30 minutes. So then I wrote a blog about it, and it's been wonderful to share those ideas with a lot of people over time. Now, there's a lot of simple things that we can do in our gardens that have so many great benefits to our health and well-being. So I've created a list, and I wanted to share a few of those ideas with you in today's episode. Now, I'm going to actually put a link to the article in the show notes, so you'll be able to go there and read the full list. But today I'm just going to cover a few of them. So a few things that you can do in about 20 to 30 minutes out in the garden. Things like cut down a bunch of bananas. And if you're growing beautiful bananas, it's a really fun way of gathering that gorgeous bunch of fruit is by cutting down the whole stem. And I have a YouTube video for that, so I'll be able to put that in the show notes and you'll be able to watch a video. It's actually of my husband cutting down some of our bananas, but that only takes about 20 or 30 minutes to do that. Some other things are creating a compost pile, which is great because then you can start recycling your kitchen waste and creating really healthy soil. You could apply some fertilizer to your plants. You could feed the soil. Maybe cut a bunch of beautiful flowers to put in the house. You could also propagate about 20 new plants you could get done in about 30 minutes, which is great because then you have 20 extra plants to get out into your garden when they grow. You could put a bird bath in the garden and attract birds, which really helps with keeping those pests under control in the garden. The birds will love to come for a little bath and then they'll eat the bugs that are in your garden. You could also do some seed sowing and sow maybe 4 or 5 different varieties of seeds. So you might like to try some parsley, some kale, celery, cucumbers, zucchinis or pumpkin seeds, which could be sown straight out into your garden. But you could sow a few different seeds in just 30 minutes. It really doesn't take long at all. All of these activities have really good benefits to your health and well-being, but I just want to cover a few extras that I can share the actual physical and well-being benefits with you. So one thing that you can do is plant out some seedlings in the garden. Now, I have a video for this, so I will include some information in the show notes. But when you're planting seedlings, you're really improving motivation. So it's really good if you feel like you need to get motivated and get something done, maybe get off the couch or head outside and just plant some seedlings in the garden. It's really good for improving fine motor skills, really good for increasing confidence. So it's great if you're going to be gardening with kids because once they do this activity, it's really good for their confidence. And it's great for getting out and moving your body and increasing your flexibility because usually when we're planting seedlings, it could be into a raised garden bed or it could be straight into the ground at ground level, which means you're bending down and you're digging holes, and that's really good for getting that physical workout in. Now, the other thing that you could do is you could harvest a meal. Also, harvest some fresh herbs, which are beautiful to cut and bring inside and into the kitchen to use them. And the great benefits of that is it stimulates the senses. So, all those beautiful smells that you get from your herbs, it's great for a sensory stimulation. It's really good to reduce stress. So, a lot of herbs have amazing medicinal properties. So if you're feeling a little stressed or a little tired or even anxious, you can get outside and get amongst those beautiful herbs and the smell from those, and even maybe using them to make a beautiful cup of herbal tea. Really good for reducing stress. You're also gathering a load of nutrients. So by going out and harvesting your food, harvesting some herbs, and then using those in the kitchen and cooking them, you're then accessing a lot of nutrients, which are amazing for your health. Harvesting herbs and harvesting fresh food is really motivating as well, because once you're outside picking those beautiful ingredients, you're coming back into the kitchen and creating delicious meals or a lovely snack to share, for yourself or your family. So it's a really good extra way of getting nutrients into your body, but also activating those feel-good hormones that go through our body just from harvesting some beautiful herbs or veggies and sharing it with others. It's really good for us. Now, another thing you could do is you could plant a tree, or you could plant 2 trees. Definitely get that done in 30 minutes. There's amazing benefits when you're digging in the ground and planting a tree and watering it. It's amazing for improving your muscles and your strength and also your flexibility. It's a great cardiovascular workout. So for 20 or 30 minutes of just planting trees, you're actually improving your cardiovascular system. You're probably burning up some calories as well, which is fabulous, but you're also improving your muscle strength and your flexibility at the same time. So it's really motivating to get outside and also digging those holes and then planting a beautiful tree. Is that lovely sense of accomplishment. So that's a really good thing to do, really fun thing to do, but in 30 minutes you could definitely get 1 or 2 trees in the ground. Another gardening activity which you could do, which a lot of people don't actually like doing, and I don't mind doing it for a little while, is either weeding the garden beds or sheet mulching over a weedy garden. Now, if you have lots of weeds out in your garden like I do, some people look at it as a bit of a frustrating thing with gardening. It's just a little bit annoying and time consuming. I actually find weeding quite a relaxing activity that I don't mind. If I've got 20 or 30 minutes, even if I've got 15 minutes to spare, I can head out to the garden with a bucket and just do a little bit of weeding. It just helps to keep on top of the garden maintenance, gets those weeds out before they go to seed and then spread around the garden and make things worse. But it's also quite a relaxing and therapeutic activity as well. So I find if I just need a break from my office, or I just need some time outside connecting with nature, I'll just grab a bucket and head out there and do some weeding for a little while. And I find it just really relaxes me as well. Now, also with weeding, because you're doing a lot of bending, it's really good again for the flexibility and strength. Great for the cardiovascular system. It does help to strengthen arms and legs because you're bending up and down and you're moving your arms forward and down to the ground and over to the bucket. It's really good for that physical improvement. It also reduces stress, like I mentioned, and it also helps to reduce blood pressure. Now, there is scientific research on this. I have read a lot of this, and it's wonderful to see that science is actually backing up the benefits that we all know from gardening, and weeding is one of them. It's also a great sense of achievement. So if you know someone that really may be struggling with their emotions, or they're struggling a little bit with self-confidence, to get outside and weed a garden bed or dig over the soil is wonderful for giving them a sense of achievement. So I work with a lot of people that do enjoy weeding and turning over the garden beds and other little activities like that. Gives them very good positive outcome and very good for a sense of achievement and building their self-esteem. Now, another job I love doing, I don't see this as kind of a job in the garden. I find this just a lovely, relaxing thing to do. And a lot of people actually mention this one to me, is watering. So watering, especially when you've been spending time digging and planting new things into your garden, it's such an amazing feeling at the end of it all just to get that hose out or the watering can and give the garden a lovely water. But the health benefits to watering the garden, which you probably think there's not a lot of health benefits to it, but it promotes relaxation. And if you've ever stood in your garden with the hose at the end of the day, you can just feel the stress fade away and you can feel your body relaxing and your shoulders dropping, and all that tension just seems to go away from standing holding a hose. So I absolutely love it. But also it's great for someone that maybe spends a lot of time sitting around. It's really good to get people up and about. I find this with horticultural therapy. A lot of my gardeners do spend a lot of time sitting, so it's great to get them standing up, doing some watering and strengthening their leg muscles. It also improves flexibility, and you might not think this when you're watering, but if you're reaching the hose out or you're getting a watering can and you're turning it on and then you're watering across the garden, you're actually moving your shoulders and your wrists and you're looking side to side. A little bit of flexibility there in the body as well. So even though the stress is being reduced with watering, you are getting out and having some great physical benefits for your body as well. So that's just a few things. There's a lot of things that you can do out in your garden that are going to have great benefits to your health and well-being. So amongst propagating new plants, you could think about growing some superfoods. You could put a pathway in the garden. You could actually sit out in the garden. This is something I love to do, and make plans for new gardens and new foods that I'm going to grow. I love doing my garden planning while I'm out in the garden. I find it very inspiring, and that's where I get lots of ideas from actually doing that out in the garden. You're also connecting with the earth, so you can get outside and just spend 20 minutes just immersing yourself in nature. You might want to plant a couple of shrubs. You might want to sing. I've got sing on the list. I wonder if you get out in the garden and just sing. Another thing you could do is create a vertical garden. Get some lovely hanging baskets happening. You could mulch the gardens, maybe build a little succulent garden or pot up some succulents. I love growing succulents. They just add beautiful color and texture and that foliage look to them, so they're lovely as well. So there's lots and lots of things that you can actually get done out in your garden in 20 to 30 minutes. You don't need vast garden areas to grow food. You can grow food in small spaces, but you can also just take 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and do a few of those garden activities and harvest the beautiful benefits of being out with nature, getting your body going, and the beautiful fresh food that you will grow. Now, if you'd like some more ideas for growing out in your garden, or a few of the things that I've mentioned, you might need some more information on how to actually do those gardening activities. I do have an ebook that you can grab for free, so please look out for the link in the show notes. It's called Get Your Garden Growing, and in there is some simple steps for sowing seeds and planting seedlings and herbs out into your garden. So have a look for the link in the show notes. There's also links to other activities that I've mentioned. You'll find all the steps on how to do those as well. So I hope now you're inspired to find 20 or 30 minutes amongst your busy week and head out to the garden and try a few of these fun gardening activities. And also soil2supper.com, there's loads of information to help you grow. Thanks again for joining me in the Wellbeing Garden today, and have an amazing day.